Hi everyone. So today was Remembrance Sunday. Went to a church service this morning to commemorate the day, to sort of celebrate and reflect on the lives of those that gave so much to this country in wars and conflicts across the world over so many years. And it was quite sombre to hear the sort of village parish that I went to, the amount of names that was read out from World War One and World War Two in such a small village, multiple surnames the same, people lost so many family members, and it was quite something to reflect on. In the modern climate, what we see, and would people really sacrifice their lives for others now? And it sort of does make you think about the sort of modern times, the modern comforts that we live with now, and how we complain if it rains, and we just little things that are inconveniences to our day to day. If we run out of battery on our phone, it's like the end of the world. It's insane, really. But it sort of humbles you, and it takes you back to a time where you think, okay, well, these people gave everything, literally gave everything for us. And whilst I was in that service, and you do get quiet times to reflect, and you get to have silent prayer, but we're also praying together. And during that service, it sort of really made me think about coming together as a congregation. And I've been doing a lot of really sort of digging into my faith recently, and there's sort of a couple of schools of thought around attending church services, mass, whatever you want to call it. And for me, it wasn't something I particularly was that interested in doing. I was more interested in following the word of God, following the life of Jesus Christ, and trying to not emulate him, because nobody could ever do that, but trying to be a better person and trying to live as close to that life as I can. But then whilst in Mass, and especially today, it sort of made me realise that the power of collective prayer is actually really strong, and it was something I felt deeply today. And I sort of decided, well, I'm going to look in the Bible. What did Jesus say about that? What did he say about collective prayer? And I came across the verses in Matthew chapter 18, which I'm going to read to you, verses 19 and 20. And Jesus said, "Again, I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them by my Father which is in heaven. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them." So he's made it quite clear there, and that, coming together and, praying as a collective in a congregation has a lot of power and meaning behind it. And he's saying that, he will be there with us whilst we do that prayer. Now, it's not to say that when you pray alone, it's any less powerful. Jesus actually said, go into your room on your own quietly and pray to him, and every prayer has its power, every prayer has its meaning. I know some people struggle with prayer, the right words to say. There are no right words to say. It's about praising God, asking for forgiveness, asking for things that sometimes you don't feel are of any value to the world, but they are to you. He knows the intention and meaning behind your prayer. He knows it before you say it. So don't worry about getting the words wrong. He knows what you're trying to say. And you just open yourself up and surrender to him. But coming back to the church service and the importance of that, I know there's a few people I've spoken to that they struggle with the denominations that there are in Christianity, and the variations and slight differences in how services, mass, are done. You go to your gospel church and it is all singing, all dancing, praising the Lord, and it's amazing. You can go to a Catholic mass and it's a lot more somber, it's a lot more reflective on your sin, and you're sort of really nailing home your prayer and what have you. Anglican, a lot lighter, still worshipful, and there's all these different things, and the question is, what's right for you? Okay, everybody's going to have a difference of how they want to celebrate with people, how they want to get themselves in line with God, and attending a service is very important. And like I said, what I've just read to you, Jesus said that being in a congregation is important. So what I'll finish off with is my DMs are always open. If anyone wants to discuss with me about different denominations and the sort of slight differences in the services they each give and the alignment with God and how they worship him, what would be right for you? I'm not going to advise you and say this is what you should do, but I can give you some advice on how that would look for you. And if you're tentative about stepping into a church for the first time, it might be your first time, it might be the first time since you were younger, and you might not have had good experiences with churches, but they are beautiful places to worship, and if you find the right one with the right people, life just gets better. Yeah. So yeah, DMs are open. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, anytime. Thanks.